SHTF, doing the hard things. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. There's going to be a lot of hard things to do in SHTF scenario. I want to tell you a little story. It goes along with doing the hard things. So 2 nights ago, we have this basset hound. He was really old and going downhill slowly. We came back from the store and his back legs wouldn't work, his front legs, he's falling all over the place. He was already blind, and it was time. He was howling though, suffering in pain, and so we gave him some pain meds, got him calmed down, and then I had to take him out and do a hard thing. We got to be ready for things like that. I know some people are like, well, it's just a dog. Well, the way we treat our animals in our family is they're family members. I get it. It's not like my daughter or my son, but it's still the hard things you got to be prepared to do. As a man, as a woman, you have to be able to do the hard things. SHTF happens, there's going to be a lot more hard things to do. There's going to be people showing up eventually, no matter how remote you are. Unless you're hundreds of miles in the outback of Australia or Alaska, something like that. Eventually, probably, people are going to show up asking for help, for food. What do? Do you turn them away? Do you give them food? What information are you giving away to them? Do you look well fed? Do you look like you have plenty? Can they see your garden, your animals you're raising? Upset comes into play. It's going to be hard. You may have to turn some people away. You also may have to do things like follow them. Make sure that it's not, woman and child show up and there's actually an ambush party waiting in the woods. There's also things like a member of your team, your mag, gets injured really bad, infected, and you don't have medical supplies to take care of them. Yeah, you're in a big event, people are going to die. You're going to have to learn to deal with that. And unfortunately, it's a topic I don't like talking about. People don't like talking about it. Most people don't want to hear about it. But disposal of bodies. Yeah, you're going to have to think about things like this. You have to plan for things like this. There's going to be a lot of bad happening. Hopefully there's a lot of good also. Hopefully you can thrive in this situation. At least survive. But you have to be ready to do hard things, to make tough choices, hard decisions. That's where being mentally strong and spiritually strong are very important. Your moral code, your ethics, your SOPs, your standard operating procedures. All these things need to be in place and hammered out as much as possible prior to an event, aka now is a good time to start. So that's why I talk about the brain, not my hat, the brain being the most powerful tool in preparedness, in prepping. You have to be able to adapt, overcome, and to make the tough choices, to do the hard things. It's up to you and the people around you. That's why you need strong people around you. Also, decisions about who to let into your mutual assistance group, who to let go. What are the ramifications of letting them go? Do they know where your food storage is? Do they know where your bug out location is? Well, if you're a mag, I hope they know where your bug out location is, unless you're still in the vetting process and you haven't given them that information. They also know, radio frequencies, maybe your codes. They may know your bug out routes. They may know your storage locations. They'll know where your gardens are, your animals. There's a lot of stuff. They may know what encompasses your security, who is in your family group, where you live, your address, stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that negative ramifications of letting somebody go, especially in an event, because they'd be really mad. There may be high tempers. Tempers may be flaring. Maybe you have bad feelings. And if you let somebody go, they're probably going to have bad feelings anyway, unless they just want to go. And then if they want to go, who knows who they're going to come back with. That's why security is very important. We talk a lot about that kind of stuff over on Patreon. If you want to check it out, links in the description below. $1 a month, well worth it, hundreds of videos, awesome content. My patrons are awesome. They rock. I shout out to all my patrons. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being there and for being here. I appreciate all the YouTube subscribers. Over 21,300 subscribers, something like that. Awesome. I love reaching new people. I love getting new subscribers because it means I'm doing my part. It means I'm empowering and uplifting and teaching others about preparedness. That's very important to me. I haven't talked in a while, but I talk about assets and liabilities. I want to build more assets. I want more people to be prepared. Because the more people that are prepared, the more people that are assets, the less people are liabilities. The less people out there, the fewer people out there that are coming from my food and your food. Coming from my supplies and your supplies. The fewer people out there that will be a threat in an SHTF scenario. It'll get ugly. We're going to have to make tough decisions. We're going to have to do hard things. We're going to have to push ourselves probably further than you've ever been pushed in your life. If you're a civilian, you've never been in the military, even if you've been in the military, there's a lot of different roles in the military. Some are more physically, mentally demanding than others. They are all important though. Don't knock anybody in the military. Every job is important. Those people working behind the scenes are just as important as those boots on the ground. Because I tell you what, those boots on the ground can't do their job without the people and the support, the food, the supplies, the pay, the everything, the transportation, the backup, all this stuff, the equipment, the maintenance. All these things are very, very important. Every single person, member of the team is important. So that's another thing. If you let somebody go, what skill sets did you just lose? How are you going to mitigate that? How are you going to make up for them being gone? And what are you going to have to change? There's a lot of changes you're going to have to do. But there's a lot of other hard things. Bad guys show up. What do? You may, hopefully not, but you may have to take a life. Are you ready for that? I'll tell you what, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm a tough guy, I can do it. Yeah, right. Until you've done it, you don't know if you can do it, honestly. It's not that easy to end a life. There are hard things, and hopefully you don't, but you may have to deal with somebody you care about. Their life ending. There's a lot to it, people. Don't wish for SHTF. Don't wish for a big event. Don't wish for some kind of war or something like that, conflict. We don't want it here. I want to go my whole life as a prepper, having all this food storage and everything like that, growing my garden, raising my animals, stuff like that, and never have anything big happen. That would be wonderful. People are like, oh, you would have wasted your money. No, I wouldn't have wasted my money because it's peace of mind. It's worth it to me. Definitely worth it to me. And a lot of that stuff I just pass on to my kids. Odds are, though, in my lifetime, something will happen. Or in their lifetime, something will happen. And you're like, well, food storage doesn't last that long. Well, true, but you constantly rotate it. That's part of it. But prepare yourselves mentally. Think through scenarios. Realize what could happen, what might happen, what's more likely, what's less likely. Prepare yourselves mentally, and for those around you, prepare them mentally for the tough choices, for the things you might have to do, the eventualities. We have to be able to adapt, overcome efficiently and effectively. It's going to be tough. I don't want it to happen. Like I said, I want to go my whole life just living in peace, growing my garden, But we have to be ready to do the hard things. We have to be ready to respond. We have to be ready to defend. We have to be ready to accept, forgive, move on, love, cherish, and help as much as we can. To me, that's important. Helping others is part of why I prepare. I'm not one of those people where I say, oh, screw it, you didn't take all this time. I've been telling you for years. You didn't choose to prepare, so go away, or I'll shoot you. No, no, no. Hey, and if that's you, that's you. You know, we all have free will. That's just not the way I choose to do it. I choose to try to help as many people as possible. That's why I'm here on YouTube, trying to help as many people as possible, trying to empower and uplift you guys. Preparedness is a huge peace of mind. Having that emergency fund of food storage, water storage, supplies, all that stuff, and skill sets, I'll tell you what, it's fun also. It's one of the keys to being a effective prepper is keeping it fun, doing fun things, starting fires, going camping, going hiking, hunting, fishing, whatever it may be. There's so much that equates and correlates to preparedness. You can incorporate a lot of things that are fun and helping you get physically fit, and a lot of other good positive benefits. Spending time with your family, your loved ones, experiences, growing mentally, learning things as you go. These are all very important. We have to do these things now. We have to prepare ourselves mentally, knowing that hard times might be coming. And if they come, we need to be prepared for them. There's a lot of things I can't even just think off the top of my head. Scenarios. I've gone through them in my mind. I've talked through them. I've prepared the best I can for them. And that's all we can do. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect prepper. No matter how many years you've been doing it, how much money you've spent, no matter how many schools you've been to, no matter how much knowledge you have, you're going to have limitations. That's why mutual assistance groups are key. Family, neighbors, friends, co-workers, people at church, whatever it might be. We have to be able to rely on each other. It'll be a group effort. We can't do this alone. And tough choices also, it makes tough choices a little bit easier. If you're in a situation where you can rely on others for their advice, look at situations differently, analyze them, help people, help each other to make the tough decisions, that's important. You know, the other night, it wasn't my call alone to be like, okay, I'm going to take him out and, take care of business and, put him out of his misery, end his suffering, my puppy. It was our family. It was my wife and me. And kind of my children. Although, it wasn't their decision. But it was tough. But I know that he's in a better place. He's running probably through a big field of daisies with a bunch of other puppies playing, all young and healthy. Actually, on that note, so I'm not one of those kind of people that gets dreams all the time and stuff like that, but I did that night after when I went to bed. I did have a dream, and it was him sitting next to me and I was petting him. And he was just like clean, young, fresh, just beautiful looking puppy. And my wife was sitting there and I said, oh, I see Gus. And she's like, well, yeah, he's always going to be around us. He's always around us. He's here. I said, no, he's physically here. I'm petting him. I feel him. He is physically here and happy. And that means a lot to me. I don't know if you believe in that sort of thing, but my wife does. And, I get it. So I think that was, his way of telling me that he's fine and that it's okay. He's in a better place and he's okay now. So, it's just something, my family, we're dealing with it best we can. He was a family member. And that wasn't even that tough of one of those, like you say, hard decisions because he was suffering. It was a fairly easy decision. It was still difficult though. That's just one example of difficult decisions we have to make in our lives. We have to be ready for it. We have to be prepared for it. And we have to be willing and able to do it. Could I have taken him to the vet? Well, sure. And spent hundreds of bucks, whatever. And deal with the drive and all that stuff like that, middle of the night, all the extra costs and stuff like that. Or I could just step up, be a man, or, if you're a woman, it's okay, whatever. Do my duty, do my job, and take care of it. That's what we have to do. We have to do our jobs. We have to take care of business. We have to be ready, willing, able, mentally strong enough to perform these difficult tasks, to make these difficult decisions. So I don't want to ramble on anymore. I think I got my point across. I think you guys get it. We have to be ready for this kind of stuff. So keep prepping. Prep a little every day or a lot every day, whatever it is. Keep moving forward. Keep moving progress. Stay positive. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day and blessings to you and yours.